legal battle, and it probably won't be little. But let me say a couple things to that. First of all, some folks have come to me and said, "Look, are you? We think that you're trying to get Arizona versus U.S., which is kind of the controlling authority here on some of this, because Arizona back in 2010 had their Senate Bill 1070, and that was the subject of the Arizona versus U.S. case that was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2012. And some folks have said, "Hey, are you trying to get that overturned?" And my view was, I'm not, because I believe that House Bill 4 is completely constitutional for several reasons. Number one, it's not in conflict with the Arizona case. What Arizona tried to do there is completely different and distinguishable from what we are trying to do. Number two, it is not preempted by federal law, in my opinion, because we've gone to great lengths to avoid that, and we haven't done what Arizona did. And the area, their preemption is a tricky deal, but if I believe that House Bill 4 addresses issues that have not been and are not preempted by federal immigration law. Number three, it is not in conflict with federal immigration law. In that, I mean, our bill, House Bill 4, was designed and drafted by looking at federal immigration law as a guide. We looked at 8 USC 1325 for illegal entry, 8 USC 1326 for illegal reentry, 8 USC 1225 for removal. So all of those things were taken into consideration, and it's not in conflict. That law has been the law, federal law, for decades, frankly, for 71 years. So we haven't gone out on a limb. We're not in conflict with that at all. We're not preempted by that. And quite frankly, Texas, under our Constitution and what's granted to us under the 10th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution of things that are not the powers that are not usurped by the federal government, are reserved to the states. And Texas has every constitutional right, ability, and authority to protect its borders. And if you even read in the Arizona case, Justice Anton Scalia, in his partial concurrence, went to great lengths to explain and give case law and 150 years of history to back up that contention. So I feel very good about it on a constitutional ground. I know that it's going to be challenged, but I'm very comfortable with that. And I've had a lot of supposed immigration law experts tell me, "Hey, this is clearly preempted." And I'm going, you should actually read the Arizona says. As a matter of fact, there's a particular provision in there that says that the default or the presumption is that it is not preempted unless they can show otherwise. So I feel very good about where we are. I'd love to have a conversation with the president. And the first thing I would say is, well, Mr. President, why don't you come and do your job and secure the border of Texas, which is also the border to the United States? That is a federal government's job, and that should be his number one duty, is to keep and to protect our country and secure our country. We have, what was it this past year, 169 documented folks that are on the FBI terror watch list that came into our country. That's more than the previous 6 years combined. We can't sustain that. We're at great risk. And those are just the ones that we know of. We don't know about the ones that we don't know about. So we're in grave danger here. And we are trying in Texas to secure not only Texas, but our entire country, because of the failure of the Biden administration to do its job. So I would welcome that conversation. I tell you what, why don't we have it in Del Rio, Laredo, El Paso, or wherever he wants to come, and I'll meet him there. And good luck. I'd love for him to look at it and see what's going on, and have any opinion other than an apology. Representative Spiller, you're right. We've done a poor job securing this border, and let's see what we can do. I don't expect that to happen. I'd welcome the conversation, but it's just not, we are having to act because of President Biden's and his administration's complete and total failure